Why is the 7th of July the Chinese Valentine's Day? Please see the story of Niu Lang and Jai Nu.
Summer night, when you look up at the starry sky, you will see a silver band of light across the sky. That's the Milky Way. On the west side of the Milky Way, there is a particularly bright star, Vega, in the constellation Lyra. And on the east side of the Milky Way, there is also a shining star. It's called the Altair. It's in the constellation Aquila. They are facing each other across the vast galaxy, as if we could never come together. However, in ancient Chinese legends, they used to be a couple who loved each other deeply. Their stories have been told for over 2,000 years. Once upon a time, in a remote village, there lived a young man named Niu Lang. His parents passed away very early. He lives with his brother and sister-in-law. Brother treats him well, but my sister-in-law is very mean. Make him do the heaviest work and eat the worst food every day. The cowherd never complains, but silently grazes his cattle and chops firewood to plow the land. His only companion was the old scalper. The cowherd regards the old cow as a relative. Talk to it often and comb it. Sleep with it in the cowshed at night. A few years later, my brother and sister-in-law proposed a separation. The sister-in-law said that there is only this old cow and a broken car at home. You can take it, the rest is ours. The cowherd did not argue, but led the old cow, pushed the broken cart, and left the house. He built a thatched hut on the hillside. During the day, I open up the wasteland and farm, and at night, talk to the old cow. Although life is hard, he feels free. One evening, the cowherd was feeding the old cow grass. The old cow suddenly raised his head. Say it in a voice like never before. Cowherd, you are not too young, it is time to marry a wife. Cowherd was startled and looked around. It turned out that the old cow was talking. He asked in surprise, Old cow, how can you speak? The old cow said, I was the Taurus in the sky. He was banished to the earth for breaking the rules of heaven. Now I'll tell you a secret. Tomorrow evening, the fairy in the sky will bathe in the blue wave pool behind the mountain. The youngest of them is called the weaver nymph. She is the granddaughter of the emperor and the queen mother, specializing in weaving the clouds in the sky. You just sneak away her pink gauze. She can't fly back to the sky. Then you can propose to her. The cowherd was surprised and delighted when he heard it. The next evening, he followed Lao Niu's instructions, quietly came to the edge of the blue wave pool, hiding behind a big willow tree. Sure enough, it didn't take long. A colorful auspicious cloud floated in the sky. 7 beautiful fairies fell from the clouds, landing gently by the pool. They took off their feathers and jumped into the clear water. Laugh and fight. Cowherd saw the youngest fairy at a glance, the weaver nymph. Her skin is like snow and her hair is like ink. Smile like a spring flower. The cowherd's heart was pounding. He took advantage of the fairies not paying attention, quietly picked up that pink gauze, turned and hid in the bushes. After the fairies took a bath, they put on their feather coats and flew back to the sky. Only the weaver girl can't find her clothes. In a hurry to circle around the shore. Then the cowherd came out of the bushes. Holding the gauze in his hands, he said with a red face, Girl, your clothes are here. The weaver girl was ashamed and angry, and was about to blame him. But I saw the sincerity of the young man in front of me. With an apologetic face, most of the anger in my heart disappeared. Cowherd summoned his courage, told the weaver girl everything about his life experience and the words of the old cow. And then finally, I say, I know this is very presumptuous, but I really want to be with you. The weaver girl looked at this simple and kind young man. There was a feeling in my heart that I had never felt before. She weaves clouds and embroideries day after day in the heavenly palace. Although beautiful, it is extremely lonely. And this person in front of me, although ordinary, but it gave her a feeling of warmth and freedom. She lowered her head and whispered, I would like to stay. In this way, the weaver girl stayed in the world and married the cowherd. They live in thatched huts and the cowherd goes out to work the fields. Weaver girl weaves at home. The weaver girl has a pair of skillful hands. Her brocade has flowing clouds on it. The blooming flowers are more beautiful than the clouds in the sky. When the villagers heard about it, they came to buy it one after another. the better the days of the cowherd family. Soon after, they gave birth to a son and a daughter, a family of 4 enjoying themselves. Every evening, the cowherd goes home with a hoe. From a distance, he saw the weaver girl holding the child and waiting for him at the door. The smoke curls, the evening breeze is gentle. Cowherd thinks this is the happiest picture in the world, but it didn't last. The emperor soon discovers that the weaver girl has been left on earth without permission, and married a mortal. The emperor of heaven was furious and considered it a serious offense to the rules of heaven. He sent heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals to descend to earth immediately and capture Shanu back to heaven. On this day, the cowherd was working in the fields. Suddenly, the sky changed. The wind is howling, the clouds are rolling. A group of armored soldiers descended from the sky, rushed into the hut and caught the weaver girl. The weaver girl struggled desperately and shouted loudly, "Cowherd! Cowherd!" The 2 children burst into tears. The cowherd threw down his hoe and ran home as fast as he could, but not at the door. The heavenly soldier had already taken the weaver girl into the air and disappeared into the sky. Cowherd fell to the ground, tears streaming down his face. The 2 children threw themselves into his arms, shouting for their mother. The whole house was suddenly empty. The half-woven brocade of the weaver girl is still hanging on the loom, as if she had just been there. The cowherd is in pain and doesn't know what to do. At this time, the old cow slowly came over, rubbing cowherd's hand with his head. "Tough to say, cowherd, don't be sad. I'm going to die. When I die, you strip me of my skin and put it on me. Make 2 baskets out of my bones. Put the child in it. You can fly to the sky to chase the weaver girl. Remember, be sure to leave before midnight tonight." After saying that, Lao Niu closed his eyes. The cowherd did as the old cow ordered with tears in his eyes. He draped the skin of the old cow over his body, put the 2 children into more baskets, pick it up with a pole. As soon as he walked out the door, he felt his body become lighter. Slowly lift your feet off the ground. The whole person flew. He flew higher and higher, through the clouds, towards the depths of the sky. 2 children clutching the rim of the basket, curiously watching the mountains and rivers under my feet getting smaller and smaller. Cowherd flies and flies. I don't know how far he has flown. Finally, he saw a magnificent heavenly palace ahead, sparkling gold, shrouded in clouds. He vaguely saw that the weaver girl was imprisoned in a palace, crying by the window. The cowherd was overjoyed and accelerated his speed. Just as he was about to reach the gate of the heavenly palace, suddenly, a majestic voice sounded, "Stop!" It turned out that the Queen Mother came. She was shocked and angry when she saw that the cowherd had chased him to the sky, reached out and pulled a golden hairpin from the bun, swipe hard between the cowherd and the weaver girl. Just a loud bang, a silver-white light, gushing out from where the golden hairpin runs, turned into a turbulent river in an instant. Between heaven and earth, the big river is too wide to see the edge. The river is surging with starlight and waves, completely separated the cowherd and the weaver girl. This river is the Milky Way we see today. The cowherd stands on the east bank of the river. Shanu stands on the west bank of the river. The 2 can only face each other across the river, but can't get close anymore. The cowherd desperately shouted the name of the weaver girl. The weaver girl also cried in response. The 2 children reached out their little hands to my mother on the other side of the river. Their cries were piercing, spread all over the sky, and also spread to the world. The magpie on the ground heard this and felt sorry for the poor couple. So thousands of magpies flew in from all directions. Gathered in the Milky Way, one by one, they spread their wings. They built a long bridge. The cowherd quickly picked up the child and set foot on the magpie bridge. The weaver girl also ran up from the other side. They hugged tightly in the middle of the magpie bridge. Tears wet each other's clothes. When the Queen Mother saw this scene, her heart couldn't help but soften. At this time, the other fairies also knelt down to plead for the cowherd and the weaver girl. After the emperor found out, sighed and said, "Since they are so affectionate, then allow them to meet once a year. The time is set on the evening of the 7th day of the 7th lunar month. Since then, every year on the 7th day of July, Magpies will fly to the Milky Way to build a bridge of magpies. Let the cowherd and the weaver girl meet. Therefore, whenever the night of the 7th day of July comes, you look up at the night sky. You can see the two brightest stars on both sides of the Milky Way, Vega in the west and Altair in the east. Next to Vega, there are 4 small stars forming a rhombus. That's the Weaver Girl's shuttle. There is a small star on each side of the Altair. Those are the 2 children picked up by the cowherd. Legend has it that if you hide under a grape trellis on the night of the Kixi festival, hold your breath and listen carefully. You can hear the whispers of the cowherd and the weaver girl. Sometimes I can still hear their cries. That's what they've been missing for a year. Because of this beautiful legend, the 7th day of July has become China's Valentine's Day. On this day, young women will thread needles under the moon. Ask the weaver girl for a pair of dexterous hands. Also pray for a good marriage. Men will look up at the stars and silently make promises to love. For thousands of years, this festival has been cherished by people. It tells everyone, true love doesn't fade because of distance. It won't change because of time. Even across the entire galaxy, 2 hearts in love will eventually find their way back together. Now, every summer night, you can still watch to Vega and Altair twinkling on both sides of the Milky Way. They are like 2 lights that never go out. Illuminate all those who believe in love. This is the story of the Chinese Valentine's Day Kixi Festival. It has been through thousands of years and is still moving.